Take a very good look at this poster. Does it ring a bell? This is the Chibok girls story. These girls were kidnapped in 2014 in Chibok, Borno State. This photograph represents empty school desks, abandoned textbooks, and the ghostly silence of a classroom where 276 young girls once sat dreaming of their futures. They were kidnapped by Boko Haram on April 14, 2014. Some of these girls are still missing till today, over a decade later. But here's what should disturb you even more. Why those girls were being sold, raped, and married off. Some of Nigeria's most powerful men were busy explaining why their abductors deserve understanding, amnesty, and in some cases, government payment. Let me say that again. Why Nigerian children were being butchered. Our leaders, northern leaders, were negotiating comfort packages for the butchers. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is documented, on record, indefensible reality. Wars have power, and in Nigeria, the wars of powerful men have provided cover, legitimacy, and oxygen to the bloodiest insurgency in West African history. And you may be wondering why insecurity has increasingly festered under Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. He seems not to be doing anything about it. Despite the US threatening military invasion in Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu seems so cold about it. We will talk about why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is so nonchalant and quiet about the insecurity going on in Nigeria. He only seems to act when he's called upon, when he's pressured, but after the pressure has calmed down, he seems so much relaxed. But before that, let us look at how northern politicians created this very insecurity that is ravaging the north. Let's start with the big one. In 2013, Muhammadu Buhari, the man who later became Nigerian president, declared that the military offensive against Boko Haram was anti-North. He attacked President Goodluck Jonathan's state of emergency in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, and every state where Boko Haram was beheading farmers and burning churches. Think about that. Nigerian soldiers were dying trying to stop terrorists, and a former military head of state called it an ethnic attack. Boko Haram itself was so encouraged by his stance that they reportedly elected him as their spokesperson during negotiations. Late President Muhammadu Buhari was elected president in 2015. And what happened during his presidency? Boko Haram morphed, ISWAP split off, banditry exploded across the northwest. The Fulani herdsmen crisis escalated into full-scale ethnic cleansing in the Middle Belt. By the time Buhari left office in 2023, Nigeria had become the third most terrorized country on earth, according to the Global Terrorism Index. Over 350,000 Nigerians have been killed by insurgents, bandits, and herdsmen since 2015. That's more than the population of Maiduguri metropolis wiped out. Before we continue, let me make a passionate appeal. This analytic from YouTube shows that 96% of viewers haven't subscribed to Avalanche Media. When you subscribe, like, and comment on a video, YouTube will push the video to more people. Please help Avalanche Media to reach more people and grow. Hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, like this video, and comment. Thank you. Now let's travel to Kaduna, Southern Kaduna to be specific. Between 2016 and 2021, this region became a killing field. Villages were razed, churches were attacked during Sunday service, families were hacked apart in their sleep. The killers, Fulani militias, according to survivors and security report. And what did the state government do? Governor Nasir El-Rufai held a press conference and calmly admitted that his administration traced violent Fulani herdsmen to neighboring countries and paid them money to stop killing people. I want you to read that sentence again. A sitting governor in a democracy publicly admitted to paying ransom to foreign terrorists. His exact words, we traced them to their countries and we had to pay compensation for the families they lost. He defended this by saying, as a Fulani governor, he had no problem doing it. Nigerian constitution is very clear. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't fund them. You don't reward violence with cash. But El-Rufai didn't just break the law. He bragged about it and nothing happened to him. No persecution, no investigation. Instead, he was celebrated in certain circles as a pragmatist. Meanwhile, how many families in southern Kaduna receive compensation for their own death? Absolute zero. Now here is where it gets truly sinister. Issa Pantami, former Minister of Communication and Digital Economy under President Buhari, in a sermon that surfaced online, Pantami called Boko Haram members our Muslim brothers. He complained that they were being killed like pigs and should instead be treated with the same leniency as Niger Delta militants, who were granted amnesty and stipends. When confronted, he claimed he had changed his views, but he was never asked to resign. Instead, he was put in charge of one of the most powerful ministries in Nigeria's national security architecture. Let me break down this to you. Most Nigerians think that the Ministry of Communication just handles internet and telecom companies. That's wrong. The ministry controls the Nigerian Communication Commission (NCC), which regulates all telecom operators, MTN, Airtel, Glo, 9mobile and others. The National Identity Management Commission, which hosts every Nigerian's biometric data. Galaxy Backbone, which manages government digital infrastructure. Cyber security policy, including surveillance system, internet monitoring, and SIM registration. In simple terms, if you want to fight terrorism in the 21st century, you need this ministry on your side. Why? Because terrorists use phones. They make ransom calls. They coordinate attack via WhatsApp. They transfer kidnap payment through mobile banking. They recruit online. They radicalize via Telegram. To stop them, you need to track their phone calls, intercept their messages, trace their locations, monitor their financial transactions, shut down their propaganda channels. All of that requires the cooperation and competence of the Ministry of Communications. If the minister is compromised, indifferent, or ideologically aligned with the enemy, terrorists operate with near total impunity. So when a man who once called Boko Haram our brothers is placed in charge of Nigeria's digital backbone, what message does that send? And what door does that open? And you think that late President Muhammadu Buhari made a mistake to hand over this vital ministry to Issa Pantami? Absolutely no. He didn't make a mistake. They knew what they were doing. In 2021, Lai Mohammed, the then Minister of Information, appeared on national television and said something that should have ended his career. He declared that if granting amnesty to a warlord will make others surrender, he would take that decision without hesitation. He threw his full weight behind state governors who were offering blanket amnesty to bandits instead of pursuing military solutions. Let's be clear, amnesty isn't inherently wrong. South Africa used it after apartheid. Colombia used it to end decade of civil war. Niger Delta militants were granted amnesty in 2009 and it worked because those militants had political grievance and structural leadership. But bandits in Zamfara, Katsina and Kaduna aren't freedom fighters. They are criminal gangs. They kidnap school children for ransom. They rape women in front of their husband. They steal cattle, burn villages, and kill for sport. There is no ideology. There is no cause. There is only cash. And yet, Nigeria Information Minister, whose job is to shape national narrative, was openly endorsing payment and amnesty for them. Now let's go to the states. In 2023, former Zamfara Governor Ahmed Sani Yerima visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and came out publicly urging him to grant amnesty to bandits. His argument, they deserve amnesty, not death. He compared them to Niger Delta militants and insisted they should be rehabilitated. This is the same Yerima who, as governor in the early 2000s, introduced Sharia law in Zamfara and ordered the amputation of a man for stealing a cow. But bandits who murdered hundreds deserve hawks. Bello Metawale, who succeeded Yerima, went even further. He publicly declared that not all bandits are criminals. He argued that some pick up guns because vigilantes wronged them. He held peace talks. His government reportedly paid cash to bandit leaders as settlement. And what happened? The killings got worse. Zamfara State became the kidnap capital of Nigeria. School children were adopted en masse. Markets were raided in broad daylight. Eventually, even Metawale admitted the amnesty fee. But by then, thousands were dead. Katsina State is President Buhari's home state. During Buhari's presidency, it became a bandit playground. Governor Aminu Masari launched his own amnesty program. He promoted dialogue. He pushed reconciliation. It didn't work. Later, Masari publicly admitted he regretted the amnesty and said he had been deceived by the bandits, but the damage was done. Katsina remained one of the most terrorized states in Nigeria. Now let's get to the top. Kashim Shettima, current Vice President of Nigeria. In 2011, while serving as governor of Borno State, Shettima said publicly that Boko Haram members are human beings who deserve fair hearing. He called them our brothers and advocated for dialogue instead of military action. Let that sink in. Nigeria's sitting vice president won't describe the people who burned children alive, beheaded priests, and enslaved school girls as our brothers. But wait, there is more. Remember Kabiru Sokoto, the Boko Haram commander who masterminded the 2011 Christmas Day bombing of St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Madala, Niger State. That attack killed 44 people. Sokoto was arrested. Then he mysteriously escaped from police custody. Where was he recaptured? In a house with links to powerful northern figures. The details were buried. The investigation was killed. But many Nigerians remember. You know the house he was recaptured in. You know it very well. Ali Modu Sheriff was governor of Borno State from 2003 to 2011. During his tenure, Boko Haram transformed from a fringe religious sect into a full-blown insurgency. For years, Sheriff has been accused of sponsoring Boko Haram. He denies it vehemently. But in one interview, Sheriff said something chilling. It is not me. It is Shettima who created Boko Haram. So here we have two former governors of Borno, both accused of creating or enabling Boko Haram, pointing fingers at each other. And one of them is now the vice president. Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, the bandit champion. Gumi isn't a politician, he's a cleric. But he has built an entire ministry around humanizing bandits. He traveled into bandit camp alone, unarmed, welcome. He holds prayers with them. He advocates for their amnesty. He scolded journalists for calling them criminals. In one infamous moment, he suggested that Christian soldiers in Nigerian army were responsible for the killings in the north, not bandits. He called for bandits to be paid, rehabilitated, and integrated into society. And here's an uncomfortable question. How does a civilian cleric move so freely among armed gangs that massacre soldiers? What does he offer them? What do they offer him? Gumi insists he's working for peace. But the big question is, whose peace and at what price? So here is the bigger question for everyone. Can you confidently separate the Nigerian government from the terrorists it claimed to be fighting? Because when you look at the pattern, the rhetoric, the policies, the payments, the protection, it's hard not to see a relationship, not a conspiracy, a relationship. One side kills, the other side negotiates, compensates, and appoints. One side destroys, the other side rebuilds, they destroy image. One side takes life, the other side offers livelihood. And in the middle, ordinary Nigerians bury their children, flee their villages, and wonder who is really in charge. But here is something we must understand about this insecurity in Nigeria, especially northern Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been conspicuously, almost deliberately silent on the northern insecurity crisis. Why bandit turns Zamfara and Katsina into killing field? Why Boko Haram and ISWAP continue their reign of terror in the northeast? Why communities in Kaduna and Niger states are sacked weekly? Tinubu government has offered little more than press releases and recycled promises. Some say it's incompetence. Others whisper it's exhaustion, that the problem is simply too big to solve. But there is another story. What if Tinubu's silence isn't weakness? What if it's strategy? What if the president, a Southwesterner, who spent years watching northern elites dominate Nigerian politics, who saw how they coddled terrorists, who witnessed their betrayal of national security for ethnic solidarity, has decided to let the North reap what it has sown? What if he's allowing the insecurity to fester, to metastasize, to become so catastrophic that it triggers something Nigeria has never experienced, and that is foreign military intervention? Think about it. The United States has been watching Nigeria's insecurity crisis with increasing alarming. The Sahel region, stretching from Mali to Chad, has become a breeding ground for jihadist groups with links to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Niger Republic, which borders northern Nigeria, recently expelled French and American troops. Those terrorist networks don't respect borders. They flow like water, and right now, they are flooding into Nigeria. During recent congressional hearing in Washington, American lawmakers openly criticized Tinubu's handling of the northern crisis. They questioned why Nigeria, Africa's largest economy and most populous nation, seems unable or unwilling to cross insurgency that threaten regional stability. The criticism wasn't subtle, it was a warning. And here's the dangerous calculus. If Nigerian government continues to fail at securing the north, if the violence continues to spiral, if terrorist groups gain more territory and start threatening oil infrastructure in the south or launching attacks that kill foreign nationals, the US might have the justification it needs to do what it's been positioning for across Africa. Direct intervention, no peacekeeping, no adversary rules, boots on the ground, drones in the air, a full-scale counter-terrorism operation in Nigerian soil. And if that happens, who loses the most? The northern elites who spend decades building political dominance on the back of ethnic solidarity, who protected terrorists because they shared religion or ethnicity, who saw national security as negotiable. They will lose everything. Their political power will be shattered. Their territorial control will vanish. Foreign forces will occupy their land, not as guests, but as conquerors hunting terrorists. Terrorists they once called our brothers. Is Tinubu gambling on this outcome? Is he deliberately starving the northern crisis of decisive military action it requires, waiting for it to reach the threshold where international intervention becomes inevitable? Some call it conspiracy, others call it cold, calculated political revenge. But one thing is certain, the North created this monster, and now they may be forced to watch as someone else comes to kill it, along with everything they built around it. I am Avalanche Media, and I bring the truth like an avalanche, fast, heavy, and unstoppable. Stay informed, stay vigilant, stay ready. If you like this video, please help Avalanche Media to grow and reach more audience. Hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, smash the like button, comment and share. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.